happier in the space. I felt more creative, and I felt that there were more and more business models around it. It wasn't just a passion project, but you know what? It's great that it was something that I was passionate about, because in order to continue and really create something special, you need to live and breathe it. I think you see everyone in this space really, like, they'd be doing this no matter what medium it was. It just happens that we came up at a time that this revolution in digital was happening, and the people that worked hard and that wanted it badly were going to take advantage of the tools and just make it happen themselves. They weren't going to wait for someone to give them the permission to do it. And so I think I also look back at the broadcasters and hosts that inspired me, whether it be the Katie Courics, the Barbara Walters, and Ryan Seacrest, and I said, like, they have their beat. Like, they're covering stories that they have not only just a passion for, but like an expertise in. And I was like, well, what's my expertise? Like, what is my beat gonna be? I'm not gonna, besides entertainment news and talking to all the celebrities, which everyone was doing. And I felt no one was really telling the stories of all these incredible creators in the YouTube space. Specifically, I mean, I was covering social media too.
And startups.
Yeah, and I said, yeah. So I was covering social media, YouTube, and startup culture, but I was really bridging the gap. And as I was doing a lot of my entertainment news hosting, because there was a lot in the web world, in LA at the time when the startup community was just starting, they started having a lot of these events, and they needed an MC. They needed someone that kind of had the glamour and coolness of the Hollywood space, but understood and could tell the stories of these startups in a respected way and in an understanding way, and make it understandable to a mainstream audience. And those two worlds were very separate 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I would say even a year ago. Yeah. Every year goes by so quickly. But for me, I always saw them as very similar. And as it happened, they both started converging more and more. It wasn't just that you were in tech or just entertainment. I always thought that technology powered storytelling and entertainment, but at the time, a few years back, when I would tell that to people, they'd be like, are you in tech or you want to do pop culture? I was like, they're kind of similar. And you know what? The founders were becoming like rock stars themselves, and they were hanging out with celebrities, and the celebrities were wanting to be more there. And so I didn't want to just cover entertainment, news, and gossip. I didn't want to be on the outside looking in. I wanted to be on the inside and coming to it from the tech and social media and digital culture standpoint. I actually found I had an in with these celebrities and leaders in a different way than any other reporter or host. And they wanted to talk to me because they knew I was looking at them in a different light. Like, they weren't just like giving me sound bites and talking about their premieres and movies and all that. They were talking about things that they really cared about, because this is a world they were just getting to know. And so it's interesting how that all came together. And I was doing, vlogging about digital culture and internet trends. And
I remember.
Yeah.
And then you built What's Trending.
I was with CBS News doing that, and even for that, there was no real position for that. I was just really interested in being able to do that professionally, and so I went out of my way to meet with all the news networks. I said, there's a beat here, someone should be covering digital culture. It's a news beat. So I went out of my way to meet those people, and someone let me in, and it wasn't because there was a position open or even money. It was kind of like, this is easy, it's cheap. It's always about making it accessible to someone who's even hiring you, not just your audience, the people that are hiring you. Not like easy, like you're gonna whore yourself out, but if you really know you want to prove a model or something that's possible, like, you can't expect that typically someone will understand that. So how do you make it easy for them to wrap their head around it? And typically, if you then prove it, then you know what, you're very valuable to that company and to that community. And so I wanted to cover this whole space, but at the time I didn't even need a camera person. I said, it's super cheap. You're paying a bit for me. I'm not even going to make you pay my whole rate. I just want to prove this model. I'm going to use my phone. I'm going to edit myself. We're going to post it. Like, for what I'm bringing to the table, you're getting a bang.
You're a hustler.
Hustler, baby. So after doing that for a few months, and I think that was when we really started seeing a lot of this stuff come together. Twitter stars, and Ashton Kutcher did his whole competition with Larry King, and media was starting to accept this as something bigger, as the new water cooler. And viral video stars were just starting to emerge, and they were barely covered by talk shows and morning shows. But I was, and I was getting the first interviews of these people, and so because those videos on YouTube were getting huge numbers, because people wanted to get to know these people behind the viral videos, and no one was covering that. But after doing this blog, I said, is there a format of a show around these things? Like, what is that show? for this generation. Like, how do we create a broadcast quality show? It's high value. It's not going to be like what we deemed before as web shows. Remember, this is before like Freddie Wong and all these incredible content creators had been discovered that were doing as high quality stuff as any movie or TV show out there.
Right.
So us saying like, oh, it's broadcast quality, people would be like, but it's a web show. Ugh, it's horrible quality. And this is before the YouTube premium channels. So we said like, this is going to be high quality. It looks like something you could see on your TV, but it's going to be authentic to the web, interactive, showcase all the stars that you're following on social media and on YouTube. And so, that's how What's Trending
was
came to
born.
be.